Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 204 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. Today we're talking about, as we have been this entire month, relationship goals. We want to discuss how do you know what your number one relationship goal is, your number one priority. How do we go about discovering that and figuring that out and knowing? Sometimes we just know. If you've got a significant other and you're not married, or you are married and you don't have many kids, it's pretty easy to know what your number one relationship goal is, or could be, or should be. Now, maybe you're starting a business. Maybe you've just gotten a new job and you're thinking about work and what relationship is the most important, the number one priority, what goal with respect to relationships is most important for you to advance in your career or build your business, etc. So today we're going to think about, we've talked about and we'll continue to talk about different decision making, analysis, priority tools. We do it every single month, and we will continue to do that till the end of the year, well, yeah, and beyond, because I talk about those things a lot in different areas and aspects of what I share online and offline, of course. But today, let's just look at a process. There are literally infinite numbers of possible processes you could use to come up with and prioritize your goals in any area of your life, and relationships are no different, right? Number one, we want to do, and I'm just going to share a process. This might work for you, it might not. Pick and choose what works for you and take action on that, because that's what this challenge is all about. Doing one thing every day that moves us toward what we want. Will we be 100% right every day? Absolutely not. I can guarantee. The only thing I can guarantee in life is that things will change. You will have challenges and stuff won't work out the way you planned originally, but it doesn't mean we give up. We just figure something else out. So what's a process we can use for identifying if we're not crystal clear on what our number one relationship goal and priority is? Then we want to have a process for deciding what it is, because we really want to work on our most important goals first before we worry about the other ones. Because a lot of times when you achieve one goal in an area or aspect of your life, it's like dominoes. Other goals and other objectives and other things happen that you want almost as if by magic, automatically, right? So what's a process we can use? Number one, we always want to do self-reflection, right? We always want to think about what we want, why we want it, think about our past experiences, what have and have not worked out well for us with respect to goals and relationship goals in particular. We want to know what's right for us, because bottom line, we are here to live our own life and have an experience, a life experience that no one else but we can have, right? Because we're all different. Number two, we want to focus on effective communication. Now, if this is a relationship goal with someone else, guess what? We can only control what we can control of it. We can only control our part of it. We can't do, and we can't think, and we can't feel, and we can't believe for another person. So we have to be in charge of what we can control. And that means having ways of effectively communicating and expressing our needs. What it is that we want from the relationship. We have to be able to express that and then listen and understand what the other person wants as well. Number three, we want to build strong foundation on shared values. What shared values, especially our core values, are most important in a relationship? We want to, set priorities and define our goals. Number five, we want to assess our compatibility. If we are working on the relationship with ourselves, which I would contend is and always will be, whether we're acknowledging it or not, the most important relationship and improving and understanding ourselves better and being more self-aware, to me is, and it might not be to you, the number one relationship goal and priority we ought to have is personal development, continuous improvement, lifelong learning, etc. But that's for each of us to decide. There are billions of people on the planet that couldn't care less about being a better version of themselves or growing or becoming a better person or a human being. So we want to assess our compatibility with the person we want to have a relationship with. Guess what? I have worked with people that I needed to have a relationship with because they were my boss, that we were not compatible at all. We did not click. We did not have any mojo at all. We just butted heads. And usually it was because we were alike in ways that we didn't like about ourselves. Now, I can say that now because I can reflect and look back on the situation and understand it better. But when I was in that situation, that's not how it felt. There was definitely not much harmony. So we want to assess that compatibility. If we're not compatible at all with someone, how are we going to, number one, if it's your boss, how are you going to survive and thrive in that relationship, or just make it so that it works and functions? But if it's like your life partner and you're not compatible, why would you choose that? You can choose something else and someone else, because I guarantee there is someone out there that you are compatible with. Number 6, sometimes we need to seek professional help or outside guidance when it comes to everything and anything, but not especially, but also this applies to our relationship. And finally, 7, embrace growth and adapt to change. Are you in a relationship where you both adapt to change and are willing to figure things out together? So there are some key indicators, and sometimes we look at these, sometimes we don't. I'm guilty of being in relationships that were bad for me, and it's because I was smushing down or not paying attention to some of these key relationship indicators, right? Such as emotional fulfillment. How emotionally fulfilled are you in your relationship? If you're in a primary relationship with someone and you feel bad more than you feel good, guess what? Not the right relationship for you. If they make you feel in any way, shape, or form afraid, fearful, inadequate, not good enough, not the relationship for you. So emotional fulfillment is one of the first and fastest indicators if we're in the right relationship for us. Shared enthusiasm. Are you both excited about the relationship and about growing together and being together? If not, guess what? Again, clear indicator that it's not the right relationship for you. Long-term vision. Do you have a long-term shared vision? Do you overcome challenges together, right? Do you solve problems and overcome setbacks, challenges, disappointments together? Or do you both go to your own little ring whenever there's a tiff and not work it out until usually you give in, and then it's over for the time being, but it's going to rear its ugly head again. And then, do you support individual growth? Do you support growth in the other person, and do they support growth in you? Those are just some. There's other performance indicators, of course, but those are the biggies that if we're not paying attention to those, we will find ourselves in relationships that are not good and probably not healthy for us. So what's our action item today? Our action item today is to identify your most important relationship right now. And of course, that changes over time. When my kids were young and I was having my kids and raising my family, guess what? They were my number one most important relationship, even before myself, which I will say I learned a couple of valuable lessons about not taking care of myself, which are topics for another day, but they were my most important relationships. Still to this day, I contend my relationship with myself is the absolute positive, primary, most important one. Because if I don't love myself, I can't love other people. If I don't give and take care of myself, I have nothing to give and take care of other people with. Number 2, my offspring and their offspring. My kids and my grandkids are the most important relationships in my life, followed by my family, my sisters, my brother-in-laws, etc. My mom, of course, and those used to be higher priority than my immediate family, but once I had offspring, guess what? They automatically took precedent with respect to importance and priority of relationship over my siblings, right? Because my siblings were grown up. We were all grown up and we had our own families. And that's, I think, the way it should work. And it's up to each of us to decide how that works and what's most important to us. Divorce, so obviously that is not a relationship I even wanted to discuss. All right, so action item. Identify your absolute positive, number one priority, most important relationship and relationship goal. Because once we identify what that relationship is, then what's most important to us in that relationship? Is it improving communication? Is it harmony? Is it long-term? Is it solving problems together? Whatever it is, pick one. What is your most important? And we're going to use it in a couple of days to go through our goal process, right? That's why we're talking about it today. So, what is your most important relationship goal? You can share it if you're brave. You don't have to share it. Mine is my relationship with myself, but I think I'm going to do, for the purpose of our goal process, my relationship with my grandchildren. Probably my grandchildren versus my children, because I've worked on my children's and our relationship a lot. All right. Any questions? Hit me up. As usual, there's a write-up in Guide 17 on the Get Up and Go Challenge private Facebook group page. Otherwise, questions, go ahead and ask. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.